Hey everybody, how you doing? Mark here, standing in my kitchen, ready to not make dinner tonight. That's right, I am not making dinner. It's not my night to cook. However, we are playing D&D tonight, and we typically have snacks for that. And tonight I am going to make pumpkin bars for that snack. So stick around, I'll show you exactly what to do. All right, so the pumpkin bar recipe that I have is actually my Aunt Bev's pumpkin bar recipe. And truthfully, I don't think she gave me the whole recipe. It's just for some reason her pumpkin bars are so good. I mean, they're always a little notch above mine, and I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the brand names that she buys compared to what I buy. I don't know, but hers always just seem to be a little bit better than mine. But hey, I am not a baker. I'm a chef, but I don't really bake all that often. But today I'm gonna give a shot at making my Aunt Bev's pumpkin bars. I got everything laid out on the counter, ready to go. So this is what you call a mise en place, okay? That's basically French for everything in its place. And we're gonna go through, I'm gonna show you the amounts and how to measure and get everything going. Let's get into it. All right, everybody, so this is what I got. I have flour. I need 2 cups of flour. I need 2 cups of white sugar. You can probably use brown if you want, but my aunt's recipe calls for white sugar, so that's what I'm using. I need a cup of vegetable oil. I need 2 cups of pumpkin puree, a 16-ounce can, but my wife bought a 29-ounce can. Because the other day she made pumpkin bread using the other part of that can. And that pumpkin bread was really good. But she was nice enough to leave me enough pumpkin in that can to make my pumpkin bars today. So yeah, that's 2 cups of pureed pumpkin in there, or you just buy a 16-ounce can. I've got 4 eggs. We're going to need 2 teaspoons of ground cinnamon, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and a 1/4 teaspoon of kosher salt. For our tools, we'll need a bowl to mix in, a spatula to scrape down the bowl, just a little hand mixer, and a 9 by 13 inch cake pan would be ideal, but I don't actually have a 9 by 13 inch cake pan. So I've got a 15 by 10 inch cookie sheet. Now, I forgot to tell you too, you will need a little bit of shortening and some more flour because we are going to coat the baking pan with the shortening, give it a coating of flour before we pour the batter into the pan, okay? So you will need those 2 added things, you know, the added flour for the coating and shortening. I forgot to mention that. Okay, the first thing we need to do is get our oven preheating to 350 degrees. There we go, it's preheating. Okay, to start with, we're going to take our sugar. We are going to measure out 2 cups of sugar. 1 cup. 2 cups. The next thing we're going to add is our oil. And we need 1 cup of oil. You know what? I want to keep that one. I want to keep this as a dry cup. So I am going to reach down here, grab this cup here to measure out my cup of oil. There we go, 1 cup of oil. Put in our 4 eggs. 1, 2, 3, 4 eggs. And then I'm going to put in our pumpkin puree as well. So all right, so there is our 16-ounce can or 2 cups of pumpkin puree. Okay, so I've got my hand mixer here. I've got on just my regular beater attachment. And we're just going to start creaming this all together. Start it on low speed at first. Once it starts coming together, I'm going to boost a little more speed to it. You slowly pick up the beaters and get everything to fling off to the sides before you turn it all off. Okay, so there's that. So our pumpkin batter is ready. Now we're going to add the rest of the dry ingredients and the spices. All right, so the first thing I'm going to add is my flour. I'm going to give this just a little bit of a tumble. And what this is basically doing is it's sifting my flour instead of actually sending it through a sifter. So now it's nicely aerated. Scoop it up. I'm going to use my handle from my spatula here and just give it the sweep method. I need 2 cups of flour. Ground cinnamon. I need 2 teaspoons. So 1, 2. I need 2 teaspoons of baking powder. 1, 2. What I like about these cans is it's got this nice little flat edge here, so when you go to scrape it up, you use that flat edge to level off your spoon so you get the proper amount. All right, now this is pumpkin pie spice, and I need 1 teaspoon of that. My baking soda, I need 1 teaspoon of this. And then the kosher salt, 1/4 teaspoon of salt. All right, now I'm going to mix this on low speed because of all the flour in there. If I turn it on high, it's going to go poof all over the kitchen. So low speed. Just mix it until pretty much all the lumps are gone. All right, now all the flour is mixed in, so I'm going to boost the speed a little bit more. Okay, same thing. What I did before is I slowly raised the beaters up and get all the stuff to fling off to the side. But I want to take just a moment, scrape down the sides of my bowl and make sure I get all the flour and everything that's on the side. Get that into the batter. And then I'll just quickly mix that into the batter now. All right. Again, turn it on high. Get all that extra batter to fling off. Just like that. Of course, the rest of that you just lick off. Like, you guys have never licked off batter off of a beaters before? Yeah, right. Come on. You guys have done it plenty of times. I know you have because I've done it plenty of times. All right, now we gotta prep our pan and get the flour and grease in that pan. Okay, to prep our pan for the batter, I just got some vegetable shortening here and a wad of paper towel. And all I do is I just go in and I get a good amount of that grease onto the paper towel and then just slather it all over the pan. You want to get it up the sides and all over the bottom. Make sure you get it in those corners real well. Okay, there we go. And then what we're going to do is we're going to get into our flour again. Get maybe a little scant of a 1/4 cup and just cover the whole thing. And then what you do is you just kind of shake it around. Get it all around the sides. Okay, just like that. And anything that's not stuck to the pan, we'll put it right back into our flour container. Making a little bit of a mess, oh well. So there we go. It's almost a perfectly greased and floured sheet pan. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're just going to pour our batter into the pan. Of course, we got to scrape down everything. Just smooth it out. Push it off into the corners. Oh, look at that. Our oven's already up to temp. Perfect timing because I've almost got this done. Okay, get a final smoothing over. There we go. Let's get this in the oven. That looks pretty good. Okay, here we go into our 350-degree oven. Now I'm going to set the timer for 20 minutes to start with. It might not be done in that 20 minutes. I might have to add another 5. So we'll do a toothpick test when we're getting ready to pull it out, see if we need that extra time or not. Cool? All right. Okay, so the plan for today, as you can see, it's a little after 10 o'clock in the morning. D&D is not until later tonight around dinner time. But I have to cook off the bars early enough to give them ample time to cool down, okay? If you don't, and we go to put a cream cheese frosting on it, because yes, we are going to make some cream cheese frosting, that cream cheese frosting is going to just melt on that hot cake, and we don't want that. So we gotta give this ample time to really cool down, get down to room temperature, and then we'll apply the cream cheese frosting, which we'll make later on, okay? Now, listen guys, I am not a baker in any way. That's one of the things that's always eluded me. I don't understand the chemistries involved in baking, okay? But I am a trained chef, okay? I can throw ingredients together and come up with a pretty good dish when I want to. Baking, not so much. I've really got to follow a recipe for that. I've never understood the balances of pH and all this other stuff that goes on with it. So I really follow recipes when I'm baking, okay? I've always said that cooking is not a science, baking is, okay? So yes, I am following a recipe. In fact, I can actually show you. This is the recipe. This is Aunt Bev's pumpkin bar recipe. And this is what I'm filming, and my little post-it note saying Mark wants to film this, okay? So yes, I do follow recipes from time to time, but not all the time, okay? That's just something that happens when you learn to cook, is that eventually you'll understand what process to do and how seasonings work and stuff like that, you know, and is this seasoning going to go with this seasoning, or, you know, you'll understand that once you do it more and more. But it's just trial and error stuff, really. I mean, you just got to get to know your food. And that's what I'm hoping to do for these cooking videos, is that I'm hoping to inspire you guys to go out and try cooking. In my last cooking video, I told the story of how my kids would bring home friends and they would end up staying for dinner, and their friends are like, really? Because my parents never cook, you know? And it's just amazing that basically these kids are constantly eating fast food crap all the time, whether it be McDonald's, Burger King, Taco Bell, or whatever. And it's basically because the parents never learned to cook. And I gotta tell you, it brings a tear to your eye when a kid that really doesn't eat home-cooked food is just scarfing down a plate because they've never tasted anything like that before and they really loved it. So I'm hoping that I can inspire you guys to go out and try cooking this stuff. The stuff I make is fairly simple. I use a lot of quick and easy techniques, like when I make mashed potatoes. A lot of times I'll just use instant flake mashed potatoes. I don't boil potatoes and mash them up and add milk and butter and stuff like that. I don't do that kind of stuff. I try to keep it simple for you guys, okay? So please try my stuff. It really is good stuff and it's fairly simple to do, okay? Thanks, guys. Okay, guys, so that's it. That is my timer. That is the whole 20 minutes. So let's pull this out, check it, and see if we need to go a couple more minutes. I'm going to pull this out. All right, now come over here. I'm going to show you how to do a toothpick test. All right, I'm going to reach up in my cupboard here and grab a toothpick, okay? Just a standard toothpick. All right, get you to look down this way. Now what we're going to do is go right into the middle and pull it out. Now you see all that goop that is on that toothpick there? That is not what we want, okay? We want it to come out nice and clean. All right, so we are going to put this back in the oven. I never turned the oven off. It is still at 350. And I am going to put it on for another 5 minutes. And then we'll check it again when 5 more minutes is up, okay? Okay. All right, so that's been another 5 minutes. Josh. I'll pull this out. Now I'm not going to take the tray out completely. I'm just going to do the toothpick test right here. All right, that is much better. I'm going to say that is done. Bring that out. Turn off my oven. Okay, I'm just going to bring this down here, set it on the counter just to sit there and cool off. It'll probably take the majority of the day. I mean, really, to get it decently room temperature, a few hours at least. And then we'll get into making the cream cheese frosting. All right, guys, it's been a couple hours. My pumpkin bars here are nice and cool now. So yeah, it's time to do the frosting. Got everything on the counter. Let's get into this. This is so easy. Be done in no time. Okay, to start off, we are going to do a half a stick of Philadelphia cream cheese. This is an 8-ounce container, so yeah, we're going to need 4 ounces of that. We're going to need a whole stick of room temperature butter. So when the pumpkin bars came out of the oven, I actually pulled this out and set it on the counter and got it up to room temperature. We are going to need a teaspoon, just a mere teaspoon of milk. We will need 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And then we'll need 2 cups of powdered sugar. Some people also call it confectioner's sugar. And then my tools, I have my mixing bowl, my mixer, and I cleaned up the beater blades here. And then I also have a metal spatula for spreading out the frosting once it's done. All right, to start out with, we are going to open up our package of cream cheese. So that's what it will look like. It's all wrapped up in a foil here. I'm basically going to cut right through the foil and cut the bar in half, okay? So that is my half bar of cream cheese. Just going to put it right into my bowl. I will then take my stick of butter. Just put the whole stick in there. Get out my teaspoon, and I'll show you a little trick here. Let's say your milk jug is completely full. You don't want to try to measure out a teaspoon from the milk container because you're just going to slosh it all over the place. So get yourself a little cup like this. Pour your milk in here. That's probably about a quarter cup that I actually poured in there. Then all you gotta do is put your spoon in the milk like that. Nice, easy measurement right there. There you go. And then what's left in the cup can be poured right back into the milk jug. Look at that, no mess. Okay, now we're gonna do a teaspoon of our vanilla extract. Just like that. Okay, here is our confectioner's sugar. I actually have 2 open bags, so I just opened this one up. Now when it comes to confectioner's sugar, you don't have to sift this or anything like that. Just take your cup and put it down in there and just scoop it up. I'm gonna level it off a bit. That looks pretty good. Put it right into our bowl here. Now, I don't know if I'm going to have enough to do another full cup. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pour it out of the bag and into my measuring cup. That's all I got left in my bag. I'll just pour this into the other bag. That's about a cup right there, so I'm going to pour that in. Of course, spilled some on the counter, but that's all right. We'll just ignore that. Don't worry about that. Okay, now the only thing left to do is just to blend this all together. Go very slow. Do not whip it up on high right away. Just nice and slow. And we'll just get it all creamed together. Okay, now that all my powdered sugar is well combined into there, I'll start turning up the speed. And just keep whipping it. It will eventually start coming together into a nice little mass. I'm just trying to get this nice and soft, and it will spread real nice over the pumpkin bars. Again, pick up your beaters nice and slow. Get all that frosting to fling off of them. There you go. There's some more good eats right there, huh? Okay. Now that frosting should be enough to cover the entire pan of pumpkin bars. Okay, so I got myself a regular rubber spatula so I can go around and scrape the bowl and get all of the frosting out of the bowl. All right, that's pretty much everything out of the bowl. Now we'll take our metal spatula here and just lightly coat the top of the pumpkin bars. Just kind of push the bulk of the stuff around right to the edge. We're not looking for a ½ inch or an inch thick layer of frosting here. We're just looking for a very thin coat. And you notice I'm just using the edge of the pan to scrape my knife off and get that frosting right to the edge. There we go. That's it. That's all we needed to do. That looks great. All right, guys, there you go. My Aunt Bev's pumpkin bars, as best as I can make it. I know that when I cut this and take a bite, it's not going to be the same as hers. I don't know what the difference is. I personally think she's left something out, but she keeps telling me that she didn't, so I'm going to trust her. Maybe it's just, like I said, maybe it's just the products she buys. You know, it's the pumpkin puree she buys, or maybe it's her butter, or maybe it's her powdered sugar for the frosting. Maybe it's the vanilla extract. I don't know. But yeah, there's just something about hers. It's just a little bit different and it's a little bit better. But we're going to cut into this and we're going to take a bite. Okay, guys, this is our sample right here. How did I do? How does this compare to my Aunt Bev's? I got a lot of frosting right here. It was an edge piece. So soft, so moist, so decadent. It is just wonderful. Oh, seriously, I could sit down and eat a whole pan of these pumpkin bars. They are that good. I did a good job on the frosting. I think I came real close to matching what the flavor is on hers. Again, there's just something about the actual pumpkin bar. I can never match hers. I don't get it. Just like that, it's gone. The bad thing is I have to wait for tonight for everybody to show up so I can share my pumpkin bars with them. And that's the downer. I have to share them with other people. Well, this is Mark saying thanks again for watching. I know you guys are going to try these pumpkin bars because they are awesome. They are. There's no doubt in my mind, unless you have an allergy to one of the ingredients. Speaking of which, if you wanted to add nuts to this, like pecans or walnuts, go ahead and do that. But when your batter is coming together for the actual pumpkin bars, right at the very end, just throw the nuts in and use your mixer and mix them in real good. And that's it. Okay, don't sit there and keep it on the mixer and go and go and go, because that will just really break up those nuts. And you don't want that. I mean, you want to use chopped nuts anyway, but you don't want to pulverize the nuts either. So yeah, just add them at the very end. Add maybe about a cup. That's all you're going to need. But yeah, so simple. It poured out in the pan. Definitely remember to grease and flour the pan. It'll make the extraction of the pumpkin bars a lot easier, okay? All right, well, this is Mark saying thanks again for watching. Stay tuned next week. I got a video coming out. It's a hiking video. I'm not sure exactly where I'm going to go. I kind of want to get back up onto the Military Ridge Trail, so I'll see if I can do that. But this is Mark saying thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys on the road. Bye.